Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about some tips for healing that are really important when an anxious preoccupied is trying to navigate a relationship with a dismissive avoidant. So these are 5 really high-level tips. We're going to go into them. They're really important to keep in mind. And these are necessary ingredients to not just survive a relationship with an APDA dynamic, but actually to feel like the relationship is a success, is fulfilling, can work, can last. Both parties can drive a sense of certainty, harmony, deep connection, all these different things. So these are 5 really crucial things to keep in mind. If you want to go and do a deeper dive into this too, we have very in-depth courses about each attachment style dynamic that are live. You can click on the link in the description box below. And we have the anxious, preoccupied, and dismissive avoidant dynamic. And you can access these for free for 7 days. One other really quick announcement I want to make as well, actually, is that if you are interested in doing a much deeper dive into integrated attachment theory, so how attachment theory overlaps with our subconscious mind, our core wounds, our emotional patterns, our needs, our expectations, all the stuff we talk about here on the channel, we are launching this February 21st. Doors will open. You can join our waitlist by clicking the link in the description box below if you want to become certified in this, and it will teach you how to become a relationship coach. I'll be working with our students for 8 weeks, 3.5 hours a week, plus 3 months of follow-up webinars to support everybody in terms of how to get certified, how to build a business, start a practice, everything in this particular stuff that I teach on here. So check it out if you're interested. So in terms of the APDA dynamic, the most important thing here is that the anxious preoccupied individual has to learn to meet their own needs so that they get out of dependency in this dynamic, which will actually cause them to accidentally cling and then accidentally push their DA partner away, and will help bring them into harmony, the harmony of interdependence. And so interdependence means I can meet my own needs. I can rely on myself. I trust myself to be able to do so. My subconscious trusts me to be able to do so. And I can self-soothe as a byproduct of this. And I can also rely on others. And that's a beautiful, beneficial thing. And APs, because they lean so far in one direction where they've outsourced the relationship to themselves with their needs, it can create these pain points, challenges, and it can make the DA feel pressured and then need to pull away to protect. With that being said, the anxious preoccupied, the tool that you want to use is to learn what your needs are, your top personality needs, your needs from others in relationships, and then for 21 days, learn to meet these in the relationship to yourself. The reason 21 days is really important is because your subconscious mind doesn't like to go outside of its comfort zone. So if you are just meeting the needs yourself for a week, it doesn't feel comfortable yet. It's not going to feel enjoyable. Just like for a lot of APs, journaling doesn't feel nice at the beginning. Self-connection doesn't feel nice at the beginning because it's not part of your comfort zone. Your subconscious rejects this stuff. But through repetition over time, we create new patterns. And once the subconscious has created patterns, then all of a sudden it gets into a position where it feels I can rely on myself to meet my needs. I can rely on myself to show up, and I can feel good from doing so. So once something's in our comfort zone, once we've patterned it in, now we can actually receive from ourselves. And it's a huge hack to really move the needle in this relationship dynamic as a whole. So that's number 1. Number 2, to learn to move through your own emotions. So to learn to actually self-soothe. Now we self-soothe in 2 ways. Number 1, by meeting our own needs. So the first, number 1, we just talked about is really important for self-soothing. But number 2, we also self-soothe by working to understand the feedback our emotions are giving to us and to dissect that feedback. It's always about either an unmet need or some kind of pain point, some kind of story we're telling about how because somebody didn't, XYZ, call us back, show up for the date, show up on time, spend enough time and energy, wasn't present enough, whatever the situation is, it's the meaning we give. It's oh, it means I'm unlovable. It's because I'm not good enough. It's because they're interested in someone else. And that meaning we have to be able to really dissect and question instead of just automatically believing and buying into on autopilot, because every passing thought that's automatically bought into an autopilot, our subconscious mind is emoting as if it's absolutely true. So we're living in the reality of that being the absolute truth. Somebody didn't call you back. It's not about them being busy or them having their own fears or commitment challenges or them, feeling burnt out or not having the same desire to communicate as often as the AP. It's none of those things. It's about the AP being unlovable, right? And this is the example I'm giving, right? I don't think that about APs at all, but in this, theoretical scenario, right? The AP goes right to this worst case scenario wound. It's because I'm unlovable. and ignores all these other things that it could be, and then buys in and invests in that original story that, oh, I'm unlovable. And it's so unfair and so much suffering. And so we have to be able to like come out of that, snap out of that, realize, oh, I feel bad. What are the stories I'm telling myself? Oh, I'm telling myself the story I'm unlovable, or I'm not good enough, or whatever it might be. And wait, it could be that my partner or the person I'm dating has different needs than I do in a relationship. It could be because they're afraid. It doesn't mean I'm not a lovable person. I can't let their wounds, their stuff, their patterns of behavior define my character at the core, right? So being able to really separate these things out is extremely powerful. Again, if you want to do a deeper dive into this stuff, in the link in the description box below, we have like step-by-step tools. We go into this stuff in a lot more detail, but hopefully that makes sense. The next thing is the AP has to be able to stop people pleasing. So they have to be able to communicate their boundaries. They have to be able to share their yeses and nos. A big way of doing this is to first learn what your fears are of what happens if you set boundaries, and then to reprogram those fears, and then combine that with a little bit of exposure work to set boundaries over time. So for example, I can be very consciously motivated to set boundaries. I can be like, I need to set boundaries. I recognize this is going to help my relationship. But if I still have subconscious beliefs that say, yeah, but if you set boundaries, you'll be abandoned, you will be disliked, you'll be excluded, you will be a burden. You know, if I have these ideas that are stored at a subconscious level, then my conscious mind can want to set boundaries all day. And my subconscious mind is going to keep saying no. And the subconscious mind is always going to win at the end of the day, the battle between the subconscious and conscious. And so it's really important that you reprogram your fears first around boundaries. Like why are you afraid of setting boundaries? What do you make it mean? Or what are you afraid will happen? Surface what those things are, then do the reprogramming work on those things, and then begin slowly setting boundaries over time in small ways, bite-sized chunks. And this will really move the needle there in a powerful way. Our next big thing is the AP also has to be able to communicate how intermittent reinforcement affects them in a relationship. APs, as much as you feel like you are like wanting to, how do I say this? As much as you feel like you're wanting to get love and connection, and that's part of what drives you and part of what activates your attachment style, a big part of it is not just love and connection, but also the intertwinement that's happened between connection and certainty. And so until you're in a position where you realize, hey, as a child, usually when AP attachment style developed, disconnection from my parents meant I'm actually not safe because I need my parents in order to survive. So at a very young age, it got confused and intertwined, survival with approval or connection. And so when we get pulled away from, for the AP mind specifically more than any other attachment style, being pulled away from means not just the rejection or the not being good enough meaning, or the pain of being disconnected, but it actually also means like, well, I may not survive, I'm unsafe. And certainty is really important with APs, and learning to communicate about that and be able to just say like, hey, it's fine if you cancel the date, but I just want to know that we're for sure going to make plans for next week because I really enjoy spending time with you, or just to ask for those little things about certainty in a casual, consistent way will be something that actually helps you to soothe externally as well through communication. And healthy interdependence means I learn to soothe myself and I learn to ask for things through others rather than expect them. Okay. And this brings me to number 5, which is sort of like learning to reprogram your stories and core wounds is actually a big one. So let me say that's number 5, but that's kind of combined. We'll say honorable mention 5B is learning to question your expectations and realize the things that you're expecting from other people need to be communicated, need to be discussed. So reprogramming your core wounds, learning to work through expectations, huge. Again, if you want to do a deeper dive into this stuff, into those major categories, we talk a lot about them. You can click the link in the description box below, and you can also use the link below to sign up to our wait list. If you are thinking about becoming a relationship coach, you want to do training with me live for 8 weeks, and then 3 months of follow-up webinars and support, and learn to do what I do for a living and share and help people and serve. And it can be done online. It can be done from anywhere in the world, and I'll teach you all sort of the things you need to know from the inside out. So it's a very intense curriculum, lots of really exciting things to learn. And yeah, I hope you enjoy. Thank you for being here. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.